The United States has a population of north of 327 million people.
And?
Why do we need more kids?
Okay,
Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough?
Pause. So hold on a second. You're saying that the people who are against, right, what they believe is the termination of life and destroying already fertilized embryos, that they want to prevent the deaths of babies because they're trying to prevent more people from being destitute and on the public dole? That makes no sense. You would be a eugenicist, like a neo-Nazi, or yourself. Joy Reid, now I know what you're thinking. Idiot, sure. But she said yes, and I want to I want to discuss this because, of course, if you ever use the term, the Great Replacement theory, you're immediately accused of being racist. But really what you're talking about is the replacement of natural-born citizens in the United States.
Yeah.
Also, some of the terminology might be a little bit confusing because the replacement rate, I'll just say sort of sustained birth rate, but the actual term is replacement birth rate, meaning you need to replace the previous generation if you want to have a sustainable country. Yeah. So if you hear that, don't go, oh, David Duke. Just understand where we're coming from here. And this also applies to rules for thee and not for me. People like Joy Reid think that they can have children. They should have children, but you should not. And here's the thing, for her to have children or for her friends to have children, it must be virtuous. If you support having more children, it means you support slavery. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is that a straw man? No. Good thing I have the clips. She said yesterday that the United States had enough people and there's no need. How do you know that they want you? They want you cold, alone, renting, and without family. Well, here's how you know. Joy Reid says, you don't need any more kids.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people.
And?
Why do we need more kids? Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids? Why does the state of Alabama need more kids? More kids for what? There was a time when the state of Alabama absolutely needed more kids because, Alabama was a slave state.
Oh. Pause. I don't look, explain this to me like I'm 3. You know what? Like I'm 5. Explain this to me like I'm a human being with rational thought. Because slavery. Hold on a second. What are you saying? Are you saying that white slaveholders wanted to have more children so that they would outnumber the slaves and there would be no way for the slaves to support the economy? Or are you saying that they were standing by with their old Samuel Colts saying, hey, slaves, you better start banging because they wanted to have more slaves who would outnumber themselves and overrun them as the slaveholders? Or are you saying that they just wanted everyone to screw like rabbits and let the cards fall where they may, leading to an inevitable civil war 20 years, just one generation down the line? You can just say slavery, but show your work, because none of those equations, as far as make any sense. Let's continue with the clip. And by the way, her wig cap is moving back.
You know what she looks like? You guys ever seen American Dad?
Yes.
One of Roger's costumes, one of his characters.
Like Demolition Man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? Look at that. Tell me that.
Only I get to have children because I'm fertile. You look at me wrong, I get pregnant. Let's continue.
Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough if you kick out the immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do, and you could make them do the work that the migrants are doing now?
No kids for poor people.
Because that kind of sounds slavery-ish.
Oh. Hold on a second. Can you rewind that clip just a little bit? Just a little bit, because that last portion also makes no sense. No. Play those last 20 seconds.
Immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do, and you
a little
can
bit more.
Them
a little bit more.
Include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough if you kick out the immigrant slave state.
Okay,
are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough?
Pause. So hold on a second. You're saying that the people who are against, right, what they believe is the termination of life and destroying already fertilized embryos, that they want to prevent the deaths of babies because they're trying to prevent more people from being destitute and on the public dole? That makes no sense. You would be a eugenicist, like a neo-Nazi, or yourself. The argument holds no water. Her positions are entirely indefensible, and it's nonsensical. This is what happens when you have somebody who has a program who nobody watches, with no business being on that kind of a platform, who's never had to rationalize their own thoughts. So hold on a second. We increased the population of this country because slavery. which makes no sense. Then we wouldn't have enough slaves to support it, or you increase the slave population, in which case they overrun you and you cease to actually be slaveholders, but you become slaves yourselves, just like you saw with the West African slave trade. Okay, and then they want to protect unfertilized embryos because they want fewer people on the public dole who are destitute. Is it me? Comment below. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Are the destitute people the ones that are affording the IVF?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Who's able to afford the IVF? I don't understand.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, of course...
Has she never been poor before?
Right. Yeah. On the flip side, you can go back to Sanger and the person who created Planned Parenthood and deliberately set up shop for Planned Parenthood in black areas because she believed that they were a drain on society and wanted to see a mass holocaust of black babies, which, mission accomplished, just took a few decades. Nothing this woman says would pass a basic Debate 101 course. She wouldn't be able to maintain a position.
We look for like macro points in a lot of the stories that we do. Like, how does this affect people? She looked like she's looking at every story going, racism. I've got to find racism. And then she's like, hey, slavery. Is this leap of faith where somebody's betting she has to throw racism into a story and make it work, and she wins a bet like $10? All right, I threw racism into IVF and it worked, guys.
Yeah, it worked.
Like, I don't know what the hell is going on here. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Now let me explain it to you. New country, huge country, right? You're talking about, think of England, think of the United States. Think of the continent of North America. We need to populate this country. And so people, of course, before you had federal government, before you had state government, municipal government, they said the only building block for a society where we can be a free society, which requires a moral society, is the nuclear family. That has to be the central building block. So let's go forth and encourage people to have nuclear families, to be mothers and fathers. Has nothing to do with slavery. I don't understand well, you guys can comment below. I'm sure I'm missing something that's very obvious. Or I'm not.
You're not.
So she was responding, to be clear. Maybe this provides some context to Alabama.
Love what you do, man.
Senator Tommy Tuberville's.
Keep killing it, Stephen.
Tommy Tuberville's comments about IVF, where he said, we need to have more kids. We need to have an opportunity to do that. And I thought this was the right thing to do. That's a hard one. It really is because, again, you want people to have that opportunity to have children. So hold on. Maybe if I'm getting this right now with Joy Reid. Is she saying that slaves were having sex with their masters? I don't get it. I don't.
I think what she's saying is that slavery is okay if immigrants are doing it.
I guess. Okay, that makes sense. Throw a few El Salvadorians in and call it a day.
People get paid under minimum wage than get paid a fair wage.
And by the way, on the IVF thing, too, this is something that a lot of people misconstrue out there. Like, we're talking about fertilized embryos, right? This is not a difficult position for pro-life people to understand. An egg is not separate and unique DNA. Neither is a sperm. A fertilized embryo is. That DNA is now separate from the father and the mother. It determines everything from eye color, height, to male pattern baldness, to birth defects. That fertilized embryo is a life, and that was your child one day. Imagine thousands of your children on a shelf, frozen in time, like Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly. And Republicans have come out in support saying, no, people have the right to use IVF. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is there are certain instances, for example, if you have a bunch of fertilized embryos and a divorce happens or death happens or something comes up, those are not just whose property are those, right? Can somebody just choose to discard those if somebody in the relationship feels like, hey, wait a minute, no, those are kids. Right. And the other person's like, no, they're not. They're just, excess material.
They belong to the streets.
Well, exactly. But it brings up some very interesting, difficult questions to figure out what's going on. And Republicans have been very clear, like, hey, we want people to do IVF. I know people who've done IVF that have had great kids because of it. And it's a struggle sometimes.
And there's a way to do it ethically where you only fertilize the embryos that you implant.
Right.
Most people don't do it that way because it's far more expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I had people come to me and discuss that. And I said, well, no, that's a line in the sand. Of course I won't fertilize countless embryos. But you can fertilize, at that point, you can fertilize an embryo and implant it. But the labor and cost-intensive portion is the implant is actually the fertilization. So they want to fertilize a bunch and just see which ones stick. Yeah. It's a cost-cutting measure. So that's something that conservatives sometimes maybe get wrong, depending on where you line up. But if you line up that a fertilized embryo is where life begins, or conception, right? Fertilization, there is a way to do it. And these people are not saying we want to ban all of that. They are talking about saving lives and, of course, as it relates to rights to personhood and parents.
Yeah,
it's important. This also brings us to Joy Reid, since I don't know if you know this. She has the children. Rules for thee, not for me. All right. Let's go back through this because I really want to torture you today. Rules.
Slavery.
Rules for
Slavery
thee.
was okay. No.
You said it.
Joy Reid says that you, in case you've forgotten, because I played it 4 minutes ago, you don't need to have more children.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people. Why do we need more kids?
Rules for me, if I happen to be Joy Reid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that when we're doing a sketch and my wig cap pulls up. You feel very exposed. It's like when you ever have like in your underwear rides up above your jeans. Like, I don't want people to see this. Yes. It's the same thing when your wig cap pulls back, only that's her every day. So
Fantastic.
rules for me, Yakuza knows. We've had the wig caps pull up.
For sure.
She has 3 children.
Oh.
And by the way, God love her. No problem, just to be clear. No problem with you having children. I think it's a great thing. Hey, you know why? Because it's one of life's greatest joys, and I have no right to rob you of that joy because I'm not you.
You're not Joy.
Think about it. My body, my choice. Sure, okay. Well, again, this goes, I see you're making the lazy argument as it relates to abortion because you are the people who want to control every single choice we make as far as what food we can eat, the size of our big gulps, what cars we can drive, what schools we can send our children to, and how many children we can have. You say that we're inconsistent because the only time where we want to control personhood is someone else who you would be killing. It's my body. Do you have 20 fingers? Do you have 20 toes? If it's a boy, do you have a penis and a vagina? Do you have 2 brains? Do you have 2 hearts? You're not a fish. Shut up. It's just like people get tripped up. No, they are inconsistent on right here. Let's just compare this. My body, my choice. All right. My penis and my woman's vagina, her eggs, my sperm, our choice. No.
Wait.
You can't have children. Okay, you say we can't have children. I'm saying you can't kill them. So, Reid loves posting also, by the way, about her children on social media. Great. Sure, a lot of moms do. Won't send me post about my children on social media because I think it's irresponsible just for private measures, but I'm glad that she loves her children.
That is neat.
So the term used is replacement population, right? The replacement number, but to sustain a stable population, meaning not having a collapse of civilization in the United States of America, a society needs about 2.1 births per woman. Currently, the fertility rate in the United States is 1.6 births per woman.
Yeah.
You
know the groups that are leading the way here? So we've got Native Hawaiians and kind of
you mean Pacific Islander?
Pacific Islander.
Well,
people.
yeah,
they
you
do
can't
both,
miss
right?
those
So
eggs.
both of
That's
those,
the size of a barn.
Exactly right. And then we have Hispanic and Black. The white people and Asians are towards the very bottom of this, right? Of that 1.66, we're below the average of 1.66. I think we're like 1.65 as of 1 or 2 years ago. And it's really important because you end up with big problems and it's not just society, it's culture.
Yeah.
How do you sustain a culture and society, a way of living, a way of life, ideals, principles, values? You have to have this kind of birth rate. And if you don't, you have a major, major problem.
Right.
We have that problem right now. And Joy Reid is saying, why do you need more kids?
Right.
And
So you stay alive, stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So put a finer point on it.
Yeah. We'll get to some examples of people who don't do this right. But this was a problem in 2007 when I watched a video on this. And we were barely above the minimum 2.1 because of Hispanic birth rates being higher. Yeah. They carried everybody up to make sure that we were. Now, in just a short period of time, we're well below it.
And by the way, that's for 2 reasons. Number 1, Hispanic women are very fertile. Number 2, the volume. Okay? The volume.
Well,
they are a passionate people. They sell cars with tits.
What?
White people, if you are in a
this?
monogamous, loving relationship, you are married, stop with the guilt sex. Just look to the Hispanics. Do what they do.
But she should love this. Black people are having more kids than white people.
That's also a volume
Long
game.
term, that would be a great thing for her because then you make up more of the population, Joy, and you can never be put into slavery again, right? Because that's your major concern about every single issue you hear about every day.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, she's weird.
She's weird.
Weird.
Listen here,
Ew, Joy Reid cooties.
Buster Brown.
For some reason, I would be insulted if I heard that from Gerald.
Yeah, I would too.
You're weird.
Because
Gerald.
you're weird.
You really mean it, don't you?
Yeah, I thought about it.
You're a strange person. Now, here's the thing, too. Here's the thing.
Wow.
I watched Ted Turner. What did you just see, a Cuban woman? You see a Cuban woman fertility?
Somebody showed him a boob.
Yeah.
He looked at the Latin Weather Channel.
Oh, today it is going to be very cold.
There's also
Let's go down to El Dorado, Chrysler, E Ford. These deals are crazy. Show 'em your tits. Hey!
There's also an epidemic of men walking around without umbrellas on obviously rainy days. They don't pay attention to the weather report. They're looking at the girl, right? So 3.4 Mormons. Mormons, what are you doing? Those are giant families. 3.
They're boning.
Good.
Carol?
I saw.
Good.
No. I understand. I'm just saying.
Good.
Like, whoa.
You never met a Mormon?
Got it right.
They get it on.
They are also kings of dirty talk.
They got moving companies to fill positions in.
I'm going to peel off that holy underwear. Now, that's a PG-13.
Whoa.
That's why I said peel
Whoa.
and not tear.
Can't tear it.
It's consensual.
Respectfully.
Mormons don't, come on, it's a joke. It's okay. Take it. Look, it's fine. And by the way, I'm sure you have great dirty talk about the holy underwear.
A lot of
It adds a taboo. It adds a taboo element. It's
a lot of bicycles to build at Christmas. Mountain bikes.
Yeah.
What is up with that? Why do they love mountain bikes
I
so
don't
much?
know.
They're
Here's
such weirdos.
another example. Baby, if we had our own planet together.
Oh yeah, what would you do to me in front of other wives?
I'm going to baptize you for the dead.
Whoa.
I was hoping to get the music going.
Hit it. Hit it.
There you go, ladies.
It's Joseph Smith. All right.
They call me a god.
You want a date with that man?
I am
Very
Brigham Young, baby. All right.
We love you, Mormons. Keep it up. I'm just saying. 3.4.
Yes, this is encouragement. Mormons, more of you.
We love you, Provo. Keep owning.
A lot of good-looking women in Provo, by the way. I fully understand that
Yes,
statistic. I was
yes.
there. I was like, I just can't. And there goes another. What? It's everybody? All right.
Swing, swing.
So, I watched Ted Turner at the Cancun Climate Summit. This was back when it was still the Kyoto Protocol, before it became the Paris
Climate Accord.
Climate Accord. It was the Montreal Agreement, the Kyoto Protocol, the Paris Accord. It's all the same thing. I watched Ted Turner support to applause China's one-child policy. This is the problem with neo-environmentalism. It is anti-human and it is anti-God. You replace God with Gaia, this secular version of God, Mother Earth, and then you use the lie that population is the problem for Earth. You basically end up looking like you end up looking at humans like pestilence. So I've watched that for a very long time. Elon Musk has been very helpful in saying, no, the way through is more babies, is innovation. You're going to have more people creating cures for cancer. You're going to have more people creating new, electric vehicles that hopefully don't run on coal and gas someday. But the principle remains. So we also have a problem here where not only personally your family units, but as a society, birth rates are very important. Having a birth rate below 2.1, it creates this upside down pyramid. You have too many old people. You have not enough young people, obviously. Jeez. It's not just total population. So to give you an idea, Social Security, and you'll have people say, oh, everyone's been talking about Social Security for a long time. It's not this disaster that... I don't know if you know this. The money for Social Security is not necessarily coming from Social Security. You know that, right? They're just pulling money from wherever. So when Social Security was created, do you know how many workers per retirees there were? 159.4 to 1.
That's way higher than we thought.
And by the way, I had to double check that. Go to loudearthcrowder.com. You can check. We have the PDF there. This comes straight from the government.
Wow.
Were these the baby boomers?
No, this is the. Would this have been the Great Generation, or I guess kind of?
It's before that.
It's before that because they would have been fighting it. What's the name of the generation before that?
This is the holy crap. We had World War I, the outbreak of the plague, and also the freaking depression. Get me out of here generation.
This is Franz Ferdinand was a dick
The
generation.
silent generation.
Yeah.
The really pissed off and angry generation.
So it was 159.4 to 1. When they said, hey, we're going to take care of our older population, well, you have a one. I was going to say a ratio. Well, the ratio is 159 to 1. Let's round it up. 160. Go with me.
160
to 1. 2022, you have 2.8 workers per retiree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Think about that.
insane.
And that's going to go lower. You don't need more kids. You're racist. So you have, as it relates to your own personal happiness, and I have no business telling you that you can or cannot have children or how many you have. And isn't it beautiful? It's an entirely consistent position to maintain where I just say, hey, yeah, go nuts. Just make sure you support yourself and your own family. Don't suckle at the government teat. Now it doesn't matter what race you are. It's an entirely defensible position because it has nothing to do with race. and everything to do with autonomy and your right to what? Pursue happiness. Now, this is not a new problem, to be clear. China, this is a big reason that they're a paper tiger in a lot of ways. They've been dealing with these effects for a while, but certainly right now.
China's working age population already started to contract around 2015 or 2016. In the next 3 decades until 2050, the working age population can further drop by 300 million. In the longer term, we have fewer people working but supporting more people in the retirement. Less demand, less output. We're just entering such a vicious cycle.
Not enough Tai Chi in the world. Thankfully, Haley offered to help with China and their demographic issues.
I told them that if they would do this, that South Carolina would wrap their arms around them and take care of them. I now officially work for you. There is nothing that you could need that we won't make sure that we deliver.
That sounded pretty romantic, too. She wants, yeah, Nikki Haley, wrap your arms around me.
I don't think those are the words.
Ching chong, ching chong.
It's the Beijing version.
That's Cantonese.
Yeah, I know. But remember when Rosie O'Donnell got canceled for saying ching chong, ching chong? I just said it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. You are evil.
Come at him.
Not a particularly sexual people when they dance, the Chinese. See, like the samba, the Brazilians, right? The salsa. The Chinese are like, get a dragon head.
That's not true. I've seen the Jabberwockies.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. They gave me a Jabberwocky.
The key to good lama is stiff hip. Keep very stiff. No swivel. All right. I don't trust China. That's it.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
And I know what you're saying.
I've never seen that.
Really? What? Yeah. It's been a while.
That's awesome.
Hit the like button if you want us to bring that one back into rotation.
Yeah.
We used to, every now and then we get on a kick and then we forget about it. It's new again.
That guy, can I see that again?
Yes. Yeah. Let's see it again.
Of course.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Yeah, I thought I recognized him. That guy works at Subaru.
Yes.
The guy works at my local Subaru.
It's actually a she.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, don't say.
Well, ma'am.
It's what makes
Excuse
a Subaru.
No, XI.
A Subaru.
Oh, excellent.
By the way, I get upset sometimes because no matter what I do, we will never do anything as perfect as Gangnam Style. That's the perfect online.
Ah, man, that guy nailed it.
Yeah, he did nail it. He's also weird. The point here is that Joy Reid is an idiot. Lucky for her, she managed to strike gold by selling her life story to Lifetime.
Don't f*** with me, retard.
It was a reach, but we made it.
She's so serious.
The wig made all the difference.
It did make all the difference.
Yeah. I pulled it together.
You're like, who is that? I don't understand. Oh, it's Joy Reid. Okay. So Joy Reid, just to recap this, and I'm getting very near the end of this now, Joy Reid does believe that the average American shouldn't have more children, but she has 3 kids. And of course, many leftists do have large families. They live as though they are conservatives in their personal lives because they understand that that is actually the root of true happiness. And they're happy to import cheap labor from other countries while creating a border crisis like we have never seen. They just don't want you to do anything about it. They never want you to do anything that is within your power or your control. Go to Chippewa Falls tonight. Hey, talk with everyone you meet about the border crisis. Have kids. Have a family. Espouse those values. Mm-hmm. This is why they want to silence you. They want to silence you because when you get your points of view, your ideas in front of other people, guess what? They win. Do you know how I know? Because those are the ideas, those are the values that Joy Reid tries to live by in her own life.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.